Hello! Well, I just got a nice little video today. We just got some stuff lined up, so I'm going to do a charity special all now, and links are in the description. But, oh yeah, as I was standing up now, because today we're going to do some stand-up history. Because, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, but we're just going to, well, your case maybe sit back. I'm currently sit back or I'd fall over, but you get what I mean. The point is, if I sat back right now. Anyway, point is, we're going to tell some stories of the past. Like how the Duke of Wellington was once approached by an advertising company. Because they wanted him to put his name to a piece of clothing. He gave them the boot. Yeah, I know, maybe a bit of an all pun, but you know, language is quite a funny thing, and just how things happen with after the Roman Empire fell. I mean, various Germanic tribes moved into their former provinces. In Italia, they developed Vulgar Latin into Italian. In Iberia, they developed it into Portuguese and Spanish. In Dacia, it developed into Romanian. In Gaul, it developed into French. And in Britannia, well, yeah, the language there developed more from the sort of Germanic tongues and some Celtic interaction and stuff like that. I guess the Anglo-Saxons had no time for romance. But you know, there's possibly one culture out there where toxic masculinity was not really a problem. And that's ancient Egypt. You want to know why? Because all the men knew that one day they'd be a mummy's boy. Yeah, and then of course, there's this guy called Albert Pierrepoint, known as Britain's last hangman. Don't know what training he got. I mean, I guess they showed him the ropes. And then of course there was that time where because the person who was going to be executed got a last minute reprieve, they didn't want to pay him, which is kind of unfair when you think, unfair in my view, because it's not like they didn't usually pay him for hanging around. Sorry. Guess I have a bit of a gallows sense of humour. Then again, we're all equal. Well, that's what the Founding Fathers wanted, you know. Well, no they didn't, but in one sense they did. Because yes, they wore their great big jackets, even indoors, if the paintings are anything to go by, with their big puff shirts. But if you didn't want to do that, they protected you when they wrote in the Constitution that all citizens have the right to bear arms. Yeah. Then of course there's another revolutionary nation, California, when they rebelled against Mexico, and they were designing the banner that they'd use. Not a particularly elaborate one. They didn't want a particularly elaborate one, so hence why it's the Bear Flag Rebellion. Of course, well, even in England there was that stirring, of course. Hence why Parliament got worried back in the 1640s. King Charles was being rather cavalier with the Constitution. But of course, things settled down a bit by the 18th century. Until Josiah Wedgwood invented the rotary kiln. Quite a revolution, that. Yeah, it's just one of those things, I guess. Technology can really change how things are. I mean, when rifling was invented, that put quite a new spin on bullets. Then the Spanish, of course, brought guns to the New World. You know, left quite an impression. Aztecs go. And, well, you know, they always say to try and be ahead of the curve. History shows it's good to be ahead of the curve. Well, with the exception of mortar rounds. And of course, one guy they say was ahead of the curve was Milton Friedman. Apparently, they say he completely redefined economic theory in the 1970s. Well, you know what they say, no marks for originality. Yes. Although then again, Julius Caesar was also quite popular. Apparently he had whole legions of followers. Okay, that's probably quite enough of that. Guess you're probably put off by my jokes. But thank you for watching. And just want to say thank you for watching. If you want to support any of the charities listed below, that's great. If you can't, that's fine as well. And even if the jokes weren't particularly great, it was lovely having you here.